course, also, I think most people are probably here because you also wrote Teen Wolf 2.
Another credit I'm very proud of, which was probably shortly after that. You have to understand, one of the things that...
I loved Teen Wolf and 2.
I was actually hired for that before they had a start date for the I remember I was hired on April 19th, and production started on May 1st, and they did not have a script, and so
it didn't show.
Another way, it didn't show exactly.
You got away with that one. But no, I mean those were sort of great things. But from then you wrote more kind of self-contained dramas, did you?
Yeah, and this is really. It's, I guess, a bit off topic from Heroes, but this has really been the course of my career. Because I didn't really, I didn't have anything to fall back on. I took any job that came my way,
sure.
And I'd get, I'd be up for a horror film, and I would go in and say, sure, I know all about horror and horror genre, or I'd be hired to write a teen comedy. And so my view of working as a writer was really just trying to adapt to anything that anybody needed. And it was a little confusing, I think, for my agents and to try and sell me as a certain kind of writer. But
sure.
I developed this kind of, I guess, sort of a short attention span for the kind of stuff that I was interested in, because as a freelance writer, I juggled 3, 4, 5 jobs a year, and they'd be everything from a teen comedy to what you call a disease of the week movie, or a real issue-oriented movie or a pilot, and so I got very used to just being very sort of adaptable to
having to slot into whatever was happening.
Exactly. And so I remember when I first got hired in series television, I about 10 years into my career, I joined the writing staff of Chicago Hope, and I remember having this sort of sinking feeling after I wrote the first episode that I was going to have to do another episode of this show, and I'd start to write these scenes about the surgery, and I'd think, well, haven't I written this scene already? And didn't we already do this? So it took me a while to adjust to the idea that in series that you're doing basically the same thing over and over again. And so when I finally got a chance to do my own shows, I think they've been sort of characterized by this slightly short attention span. You'll notice in an episode of Heroes, there's anything from melodrama on one end to sort of broad comedy on the other end. And there's certainly horror genres in there, there's sci-fi elements, there's definitely family drama in there, which I'm interested in. So it spans the whole kind of breadth of interests in genres that I have.